Okay, we're on the docks.
We're on the docks.
We're on the docks. Wait a minute.
Okay, for all of you guys that can hear us, don't worry, I'm going to have the entire thing. I've been recording it in Zoom, so it's going to be available on the Maids and Sages podcast on YouTube. So.
Oops.
Continue.
So, yeah, George had the floor.
About.
I did? What was I talking about? Something very important. I don't know how much people missed, etc. We mentioned who the Civilar of Dock Ward was. We talked a bit more about law and order. We were talking actually about favoured places to go when you're visiting Dock Ward, and Stephen made the really good point that there's got to be some places which provide room and board and wonderful meals that adventurers or sailors and other people just swear by. And basically the situation with that is that they would be looking after their stable of people who are regular customers, etc. And those people would, I think, in my view, defend them ferociously. So, you're never going to have any trouble there. So if you turn up there and start, let's just say, playing God as an adventurer, you might have another 20 adventurers who stand up from the dinner table and tell you that that's not on. I'm a big fan of adventurers knowing their place in the world.
Because they've actually swept their stoops.
Yeah.
There are no corpses lying in the gutter.
And the corpses are out the back, yeah.
No. That's overrated.
Yes.
That's the stereotype of Dockboard, because the thing about Dockboard is nobody leaves a body lying in it because it's a free body. That's for the stew pot. It's like the little kid with the sling and the stones. You don't have to worry about seagulls and pigeons in Dockboard because bang, they're in somebody's stew pot in short order. Same thing with dogs, cats, a sailor who moves too slowly. Yeah.
I think one of the things that comes through in the sources is that adventurers are tolerated more in Dockboard than most any other place. So if you're an adventurer coming to Waterdeep, notwithstanding the fact that you might come by land, it's very likely that you're going to end up in Dockboard. There might be more than a few inns along the way in Castle Ward or North Ward who won't like the look of you very much if you're coming in dripping with goblin blood or anything like that. With a live troll claw crawling out of your backpack or something along those lines. So it's very likely that you'll be quickly ushered into Dockboard, where you'll have to find somewhere to stay. Yeah. And there are more than a few inns along the way who will look after you. And they're, of course, all set out in that wonderful tome of knowledge called Volo's Guide to Waterdeep, which deals with the 1360s Forgotten Realms. In the 1400s, one would expect that, what was that, Steve? Never seen that before. Anyway.
Yeah. And we should just mention one thing, and then I'll shut up again. One thing you can do is use the maps for most places in Dockboard from century to century, because even if that particular building burned down, nobody's going to be allowed to change the street configuration. You're going to have to rebuild on the same foundations.
The great joy about Volo's Guide to Waterdeep is, though, that you've got the basics there for whatever you need to establish for your little adventuring quadrant that you might set up if you're doing an adventure in Waterdeep. And so whilst Volley's Guides to Waterdeep names a couple of inns, you can just change the name, change the proprietor, and all of a sudden you've got the same inn 100 years later. You might tweak a few different things. You might bring in a few different aspects to the inn that suits your campaign, but it's very, very easy to do. So don't be scared about using the old 2nd edition or 3rd edition information. 3rd edition, not so much. That was the stuff Eric wrote. But the bottom line is that the stuff that came in 2nd edition is very, very easy to translate into a campaign in the 1400s, late 1400s Dale Reckoning. So people who say, but they haven't updated, Waterdeep, or they haven't updated this or that or the other. There is so much information out there that you can literally file off the serial numbers, adapt really quickly, and make it happen. And it's very easy to do. And so that's your starting point. So
and honestly, I mean, saying that, 1349 Waterdeep is really different than 1475. It's like, do the same dates with London. You're not going to notice a huge amount of difference unless there's a great fire. And Waterdeep doesn't have those.
Right.
Well, I'll give you an interesting example. In the campaign that Eric is running for us, that we're playing tomorrow, where we're traipsing around the north in a Keystone Cops fashion and just totally have no idea what we're doing. But be that as it may, it was really interesting. It was really interesting. We're playing in the 1370s Dale Reckoning, and we happened to visit the little town of Ullavin. Remember those digressions I talked to you about, Ed? Here we go.
Yep. Going strong.
Yep. Let's keep count. And so we were in Ullavin, and we stayed at an inn. Now, in the 5th edition product that mentions Ullavin, which I think is Storm King's Thunder off the top of my head.
Yes.
The inn is burnt down. It's ruined. It's derelict in the 1490s. Yeah, and you know why? Because we burnt it down in our campaign.
Yes, we did.
we got attacked by a wizard of the Arcane Brotherhood who was hurling fireballs everywhere.
George, you're an upstanding Harpo member. You're a member of the Harpo clan. You and I didn't burn it down. The dwarves did.
The dwarves did. Yeah,
we did not.
Dwarves did. Although I'm not so sure the words upstanding and Harple have ever really been talked about in the same sentence, but that is it, mate. But we'll see how we go.
And
but those are the
Neverwinter. You hear Marco say, "Hey."
But that's those are the types of things which are fun. So if you've ever run a campaign in Waterdeep and things have happened in your campaign, what a great opportunity that is to incorporate that in a campaign in the 1400s Dale Reckoning in Waterdeep again, where you can say, that's the tavern where the company of the crazed cockatrices used to inhabit back in the day. They were a wild bunch. They all died in Undermountain, or et cetera, or they sailed off to Evermeet. It's those types of stories that give you continuity, and your players will absolutely love it. That's the stuff that, memorable moments in campaigns are made of. So, we're on the docks. Okay.
A good DM, if you can remember or write down some stray exclamations from your players, and then when they're wandering through, which place was it? Sea Mist Alley, Jeff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. Hold on, I got it right here.
An alley that is
Seawind Alley.
Seawind Alley, and there's ghostly voices that whisper or shout, depending on the time and the stars and everything. Well, a good DM who's written down random things from the players can issue them back at them to see what they can remember.
That's
or
right.
just confuse. Who knows? I already told Jeff, those voices are really just, for those of you who are parents, it's like your baby monitors picked up a stray signal from somewhere else. Yeah, signal's coming from Undermountain. Yeah.
That's right. Howler's baby monitor.
My digression. Sorry.
So we're in the dock.
We're in the dock. And we were talking about the watch or the guard and so forth.
Right.
Maybe we should get away from the water and talk about the gates for those traveling by land.
Well, are we going to talk about statues or anything near the dock ward?
There aren't any walking statues down in Dockward that I can recall.
Nope.
Although there has been rumors that there once were.
That's right. That's what I'm
No
talking
one's
about.
seen them since Agarin's day, and they're not sure where they went.
Well, they were kept. Some of them were kept in the Ethereal Plane, weren't they? With sections of city walls that they could drop in if there was, they were being overrun, etc. I think Ed put that in.
I forgot about that.
And so there were a whole bunch in the Ethereal Plane. And what happened to them? Who knows? That's an interesting question. Be interesting if one just turned up in Dockward. I mean, and anything's possible. Yeah. It's Waterdeep after all. The only thing you're not allowed to have is dragons, so it's all good.
And thieves guilds.
The merfolk down in the harbor aren't that chatty, but so there could be one down on the harbor floor.
I love the idea of one just appearing, standing in the harbour, right in the middle of the harbour. At waist deep or chest deep.
The eyes.
Yeah, or just the eyes.
It just goes up to the boat and stops, right?
Yeah, there's a statue doing this.
I think that's a great image. That's a really good one. So,
yeah, but it's kind of a boat hazard because you could easily smash a hole on that thing.
Well, depending on which section of the harbour is and how deep it is, you might have an arch, so something the ships can sail through. That'll work well.
Oh, there you go. That's right.
Now, why did I suddenly get a flash of Ray Harryhausen's Argos statue from whichever Sinbad movie that was in?
Yeah.
That's right. Absolutely. That's right.
That Seventh Voyage, or was that Eye of the Tiger?
I think it's the seventh voyage of Sinbad.
Now I've got this idea of a Kraken attacking a harbour, and somehow you manage to petrify it. So you've got this Kraken statue with all these tentacles flailing, all like trapped in stone there.
Why not? I mean, there's a subterranean portal underneath the harbour to Umberlee's domain, which is why the Fair Seas Festival exists, to throw tides to Umberlee to keep the storms down in the harbour.
It might not be a secret, but Eric is working on a third adventure now, where he's 200 pages into it to go with the 400 pages he's done and a few others, and it has lots to do with the Kraken Society. So we might just put in a petrified Kraken.
No, that's an
absolute. More Appaleth then, is it?
You get Kraken on that.
They get.
No, release date is very soon for us. It's probably about 2030.
So when are you going to release the Kraken?
Right after you freeze Willie.
Well, we were toying with the title of the product being "Release the Kraken, finally," but we're not exactly set on that. We'll see. Plenty of other stuff.
Call it re-release of the Kraken, and just have them scrambling to see when it was first released.
Okay, we're on the docks. We're on the docks.
We're on the docks. The wind is from the east.
Okay, so they're unloading the ship, and now my question earlier, which we kind of got sidetracked on, was
that never happens.
No, we never get sidetracked here. So when they unload the ship, is that hired hands from Dockward, or is that the crew?
Yes,
it depends entirely on what.
It depends.
It depends.
How much money they want to pay, because they got to pay that guild.
Right.
How much time the harbor master is going to allow them to occupy that berth, that precious berth. They may say, no, we'll handle this ourselves. These are very, very delicate. We're bringing you glass from Kalimshan, blown glass. We don't want louts and dockhands handling them. And the harbor master will say, I totally understand. If your crew can get all that glass, not only out of your holds, but on wagons and the heck off my dock in, I don't know, before the next bell, in other words, an hour from now.
Right.
If you can manage that, no problem. We'll stand back and watch and guffaw as you shatter things. But I want this dock clear one bell from now. And if it isn't, I'm charging you double, and I'm sending in the guild.
So just on that, Ed. So let's say, for example, you overstay your berth welcome. Do you get fined?
Yep.
Is there anything more punitive that they can do to you? Is there any way? Because I know
sure. They can drag you away from the dock and leave you out in the harbor, half unloaded.
Yeah. In an old Candlekeep on your So Saith Ed series of threads, you talked about the Waterdavian Navy in some detail. I don't know the exact. And, you outlined all the fighting ships and all the transport ships and the cogs, etc., etc. It's really a very interesting little bit of lore, which I'm happy to share with anyone if they're asked. Just, you know where to find me. But the bottom line is, would those ships, those rakers, those I think you had another name for the smaller ships, or one of the cogs, etc., from the official navy, would they be used by the harbour master to drag out any ship that wasn't supposed to be there or overstayed its welcome?
But when you're navigating that close to the docks, it's usually the sweeps, the really small boats with rowers, plus lots of fending poles, plus the merfolk. You're really manhandling the ship. Now, if you get it turned away from the docks, you've got to, and the wind is right and so on, for you to just pull it straight away. Yeah, then you'd have a boat and a line, and just haul on it. But usually you're finessing it away from the docks. But yeah, that would be a punishment. First of all, you have a fine. I'm going to drag you out into the outer harbor. You're going to sit at that mooring until we've got a gap. And then you're going to pay for docking all over again when you come back to unload. And this time, I'm doing it my way. As in, I'm going to call in the guild or whatever.
Okay. I have a question.
Yeah.
What would it take for the harbor master to impound an entire ship and or its cargo?
Oh, all sorts of things. If there's a suspicion that it's bringing some infectious disease, bingo, immediately. Out beyond Deepwater Isle. Because that has to be, the safety of the port for everybody has to be paramount. That has to be job one. It doesn't matter about anything else. That has to be job one at all times. If you have unpaid debts to the city or whatever, unpaid taxes, and you come sneaking back into the city under another name, you just repainted the name on your ship and you're coming back in, I think we're going to need to expect but again, it's usually not a direct confrontation, because we don't want a brawl involving sailors and so on. It's, I'm sorry, we've instituted a new policy for thorough inspections, so we're going to have to ask you to sail over there, and we're going to thoroughly inspect you, starting with you, sir. The enema line forms on the right. It's going to be a thorough inspection, or whatever. You see, it's going to be terribly polite, but terribly thorough. And it's going to waste time, because what is money more than anything else to a person who's into shipping? It's wasting your time. Now, the other thing is, there could be a lot of hard dealing going on with, look, my crew's exhausted, half of them are ill, I'm leaking, I need to make repairs, I can't hoover out in the harbor because I'll be at the bottom of the harbor if I wait too much longer. And then you can dicker. Okay, we'll do this, we'll give you this, we'll give you preferential treat for this, and you're gonna, you now owe us this much. And usually the owing isn't a matter of money, because the harbor doesn't need to make more money. Usually it's a service. You see all this stuff that's rotting in this warehouse that nobody wants? You are going to take it to Baldur's Gate, and you're going to take it to Baldur's Gate right now. As in, it's going to be your next cargo. I don't care what you were hoping to take on board. You're going to get this headache away for us. Because you're bad, and this is your penance. This is what you're going to do in lieu of us doing something way worse to you, like impound your ship. So it's usually not going to be that. It's going to be, and this becomes an ongoing game where it behooves the ship captains to keep their noses clean and keep on the good side of the harbor master, so that they're treated well in Waterdeep. And again, the harbor master is under intense pressure not to play favorites, and to keep Waterdeep to be a popular port of call where everybody thinks they'll get a fair shake. So if the harbor master makes an enemy of somebody and then treats them badly, and it's seen as treating them badly.
Mhm.
The old joke, let's pick a number at random, like say 13. And then 5 minutes later, oh, we're going to have to pick a number at random. Like say 13. So if somebody starts doing that and they're the harbor master, they're going to get a talking to from the open lord.
Mhm.
And in the case of Laryl, she's a really nice lady, but you do not want to have a talking to from Laryl.
Oh dear, no. Well, I'm going to ask another leading question, if I may.
Go ahead. Laryl's waiting.
Okay. Well, all this stuff on the docks and the shipping and the dockmaster, that's all beautiful for world building and storytelling. If I'm just, say, Joe Schmo and his pal, his party of adventurers, and they've just booked passage on a ship and they get to Waterdeep, what trouble, problems, headaches are they going to have in just trying to get off the ship and into the city? Are they going to have any? Do they have any fees or problems or tolls that they need to pay? Or is it all just between the captain that got them here and then they can get off the ship with no problem?
Are they bringing in bulk cargo to sell? If
No,
the answer is no, then basically all they need to do is answer some questions. Who are you? Why are you here? What's the purpose of your stay? And your answer would be like going through American customs 30 years ago. I'm here to trade. Oh, please come in.
Hey, yeah.
We want the world to come in and trade. There's not going to be any hassle.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because we want everybody to come. Now, things have changed, of course, but at that time, it was basically the borders open. You're here to trade. We love to have you. We love your money. Come on in. Yeah. And if you say, hi, we're adventurers. We're here to make our fortune. They'll say, well, there's plenty of call for strong young backs and blah, 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 blah. Go see
the yawning portal.
Yeah, exactly. You'll get directed to somewhere that's a hiring fair for adventurers.
Yeah.
Because, again, they have no interest in keeping anyone out. They want the image of Waterdeep to be the accepting, welcoming, tolerant crossroads.
Mm-hmm.
What they're really watching for is somebody trying to sneak an army into Waterdeep, 6 or 7 people at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So they're on the watch for, are these guys going to hook up with those guys who came in 10 days ago?
So I'm thinking that tells me that there's going to be a watch patrol, or at least a small covert watch patrol on various and sundry rooftops overlooking the docks and keeping tabs on what group of people are coming in, and also, here comes some Kalishites, and here comes some. You want to get down there and stay between them.
Yeah. You got it. There is going to be that at all times, because again, you can't maintain this port that is working well for everybody if you're not keeping order. And the mere fact that it's a crossroads that anybody can come to means people who would have quarrels with each other may be in close proximity to each other, and you have to be enforcing and maintaining this policy of keep your feuds at home. You're here to trade. Just keep your feuds at home, folks.
Hello.
Hey, Eric made it.
So, how many people got killed tonight? Maybe
half the party is a gnome in a trench coat.
That's right. So, Eric, we're talking about the walking statues in the shapes of gnomes along the Waterdeep Harbor.
Fireball. I cast Fireball.
Goodness gracious, great balls of fire!
Glad you could make it. So they're half the party's down now?
Half the party's down. I can't tell you why, because you will be suffering this fate soon enough.
No, so we already know the dwarves will be down tomorrow night. Okay.
Okay, so that's such an incentive.
Actually, these guys are like 3 months behind, so it'll be a while anyway.
Yeah. Well, you haven't heard Tom Costa do his dwarf impression yet, so.
You make that sound like a threat.
It is.
Oh, okay.
At least I do a horrible Scottish accent. He does the screaming horrible Scottish accent.
Oh no! They're as much as I love people from who hail from Scotland, there are dwarves that do not.
That's true. Not many though.
Not in the realms.
Not in the realms. No, they're all Scottish.
They're all Scottish.
Oh no!
Not in the real realms campaign.
Not the real realms campaign.
Ed, we don't make up the rules. We just follow them. So
Oh, it's amazing how that excuse comes up when it benefits everybody.
George found a really obscure reference that says you have to play dwarves with a Scottish accent.
yes.
That's right. No, yeah. It was in first edition. I think it was.
Yeah, pretty
It was
much.
an online web article in first edition.
That's right.
La 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 la.